flexion of the shoulder, one of your answers could be distraction. Because distraction does posterior, anterior, inferior, superior move, it does everything. So just like this, same thing here, if I'm working on flexion or extension in the elbow, I could do distraction, all right? So that's the first thing we're doing, and then we're gonna do what's called a distal move, which helps the flexion. So let's have someone lay down and we'll go through these. We'll probably do humeral ulnar, and we'll probably do humeral radial as well. So humeral radial resting position is full extension and supination, all right? So lay on your back, if you will. So first off, humeral ulnar. So we've got, I think I said 70 and 10. So if we're in this position, so that's obviously 90, 70 in this direction, a little bit of supination, right? So neutral, a little bit of supination, right? Distraction, let me see. So again, he sets up to be good because again, I don't feel like if I'm pulling here, I'm going to move him on the table, right? So I could stabilize here. Often though, I often will use my arm on this. I'm just gonna be kind of in this position, and all I'm doing is distracting or pulling him down. Now if I get too much movement up here, I could take one hand in the armpit and kind of just stabilize there and kind of pull down, right? Or both hands, all right? That's distraction. So basically I'm just trying to move it down like this. To help, that helps extension and flexion. To help flexion, there's a distal move, which is basically like a scoop, right? So it's the distraction, but then you scoop. If you look at the picture in the book, the force is kind of, instead of just straight down, it kind of scoops up. So you're kind of scooping them. So same position, 70 and 10, and then when I'm here, and I'm pulling down, but then I'm scooping up. So in this case, I like my hand here because I'm going to be kind of like this and pull up, all right? I'll show on this side. So if I'm in this kind of position, I'm stabilizing, I'm pulling down, but then I'm scooping up, right? Scooping up, that helps flexion, all right? So just two Mobz at the humeral ulnar. Let's do two. I think there's three at the humeral radial joint, all right? So in this case, full extension, full supination, right? Radius, find the radial head, right? We can find the radial head. We're gonna mobilize the radial head on the humerus, all right? So in this case, if we wanna do a distraction, I can put my hand anywhere along the radius and pull, right? So again, it's basically like a long axis traction. So in this position, I'm just pincing like this, and I'm just pulling, right? So if I wanted to, I could stabilize here and pull, right? So I'm just trying to basically pull his radius, disarticulate the radius at the ulna, or at the humerus. So I'm doing that kind of motion, all right? If I want to do a dorsal or a volar glide. So again, think about this. We're now that dorsal and volar. Volar is more palmar or anterior, right? Dorsal is posterior. Again, when we get down in the hand, remember we kind of just switch up things a little bit, right? So we got dorsal. That's going to help elbow extension. So going posterior helps elbow extension. So I'm in this position. I'm going to just take the palm of my hand, put it over the radial head, and I'm just pushing back. So it's a dorsal. It's the same thing as we did as a posterior glide here. It's just a posterior glide on the radius, okay? So stabilizing here, dorsal glide. I certainly could turn him over if I wanted to do a volar glide. It's probably just as easy to take the back side of your hand and pull forward. So my stabilization changes and I'm pulling forward. If I wanted to turn him over and use gravity, if I felt like I was getting tired and I wanted to use my more force, so technically that might be an easier way to do it. It's a small enough process that I probably just hold him right here and just do it again. I'm holding back with this hand, so I'm stabilizing back and I'm pulling forward. Let me have the other side here, just so they can see. So long axis distraction is something kind of like this, right? Or again, I'm gonna get my hand like this. So full extension, full supination, grab a hold somewhere along the radius and I'm pulling, right? Posterior Mobz or dorsal Mobz, and then volar Mobz, switch my hand position, that will be a volar or anterior, okay? Easy enough? So let's do those two sets. So we got humeral ulnar and humeral radial. These will be helping elbow flexion or elbow extension. We're not yet to the proximal radial ulnar joint, which is where we're going to do pronation supination. So the only two